Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to Make This Happen, where we discuss an idea we've been dying to see come alive. Every week, my friend Alex Gonzalez and myself, J.E., will bring you a product you never knew you needed. Now, let's talk about projectors. They're all right. I always think that they have an issue with, clarity and all that stuff, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about bringing projectors with you wherever you are. And I projector is the wrong term for it now that I'm talking about it. But let's get into it. What I want, you're at, let's say, you're at camp, right? And it's getting late into the dark, but everyone's still up because you're out and about and you just want to hang out with everybody, and you decide, hey, let's put on a movie. Let's just watch a movie right now, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, but I don't really want to huddle around someone's iPad or their laptop, whatever. But like, oh no, but check what I got. And you reach into your pocket or your backpack and you take out this drone, right? And it's this funny looking drone. It's like 4 little weird pieces of the helicopters, and it's like a weird looking drone. But then you send it up in the air, and then you open it up from your phone or whatever, and it just it spreads apart. Each part of this drone takes apart in 4 different corners, and in between them, this giant screen appears, right? And then you just press play on your phone, and it just, in my head, at first, it was going to project on there, but that won't work. So this whole thing, I'm assuming, is an OLED screen that rolls out from these drones that spread apart in 4 different corners. And then from your phone, you press play, and it just airplays from your phone to this drone, right? And then it just displays whatever in the air flying with these drones. And I'm also assuming there's like Bluetooth tech where everyone put on their AirPods or whatever fucking Bluetooth headphones there are, connect to the person's device that is projecting the image to this drone, and then they could hear the audio straight into their Bluetooth headphones, and everyone just watches on this flying drone OLED screen that it just put up into the sky.
Dope. I like the idea. I like where you're going with this. There needs to be different sizes.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely there has to be different sizes. And they're going to not just be a little bit more expensive between the sizes. I see them being super expensive from like the smaller size to the bigger sizes, just because it's a rollable OLED screen, which can happen. OLED can, you could roll them up. Like people are thinking about having like pull down OLED screens, kind of like the old school projector that you'd pull from top to bottom and then you'd actually project something onto them. But OLED works kind of like that, or have an invisible OLED like mirror or whatever. That stuff does exist. So OLED is probably
most definitely. And I'm thinking about having it set up where you can aim it towards different people. So there's a small screen aimed towards kids, a medium and large screen. Large screen would be for like innovators or different art pieces or installations, and medium screens being for someone who wants to go camping or enjoy the great outdoors, but do so with maybe a screen or something like that. We could even have these where market purposes, we'll have them set up in maybe different races and sporting events, so that way advertisers could then take up more advertising space in a stadium by having them floating. I always come up with the way to make these ideas terribly capitalistic to get them funded.
That's a great idea. And I think, if we're trying to fund this, what better way to do than be like, hey, floating you could put these anywhere you want. You'll have an ad, you know what I mean? But baseball games, basketball games, whatever, it would just be floating advertisements up above the court, just wandering around. It would be so futuristic too, you know what I mean? Like you see this in sci-fi movies all the time, like these floating ads and floating TV screens. This is obviously a much more like a not as sleek, because you're gonna have the screen being carried by 4 drones, obviously. But it'll work, and advertisement, I think, is a great way to do it. And I also think there should be like It also work really good for, I don't know, some people working at home
I
or whatever, like
and
have
I
a
think
very
great
small
for
17
the
inch size.
military.
Mm,
So another thing is if you're deploying and you're at a base camp or something and you're setting up a camp, these can show up and then maybe they can readily, like you said, through Bluetooth and whatnot, or a more secure network, they can communicate with each other, download data, and then able to show that data in real time. So if there's different forces in different places militarily, you can all be looking at the same thing. I'm sure there's already data like that, but maybe this would help it so you could deploy it without a power source or without stable ground.
yeah. In a optimistic utopian future, I could also see this just being a product everyone owns,
Yeah.
and it's like everyone has different sizes, but let's say 17 inches is like standard for your personal unit, right? And I could see like just how there was a vision back when VR was first announced where everyone's just gonna be walking around with VR helmets on and they're not actually gonna be seeing the world. They're just gonna be seeing it through the lens of their VR units. What if it's just
Hmm.
this feature where people bring up their drone thing, right? And they're just walking and they're just talking to someone FaceTime right there. There's a camera on the drone right there, and you're just walking and there's a floating face in front of you. So you could do Zoom calls on the go, you know what I mean? And just have this
Oh,
drone
yeah.
follow you with the person's face right there. And you could just talk and walk. You could do like live streams that way, have the same type of drone go up, and then it's like it shows you, maybe even has OBS on that monitor, and then like it could capture you through a webcam on one of the drones and all that stuff. I think there should also be a function where we work with Microsoft and Apple if they are inclined to do so, where it works seamlessly as like a wireless monitor. So you could have like multiple of these and have like a couple monitors where you can move things from each monitor to other monitors throughout, and so it could just be used as a secondary or multiple screens, you know what I mean, that are all just
Hmm.
floating around your office space.
And I think what this is also would be good for is places, for instance, like Japan, where space is at a premium. It's a very population dense island where in apartments they already have it where they put away their beds and then pick them back up, where they have tables that fold down and then fold back up. Why have an entertainment center that takes up so much space when you can actually have a screen that floats and then you
Mm,
can put it back away and charge it at night?
right, exactly. That is a good point. It could also take the place of your Amazon Alexa. Like it'll have to have some kind of tracking ability. Like maybe it follows your phone, or the camera on it just tracks so it doesn't hit anything. But
Hmm.
yeah, I can imagine it just follows you. Maybe there's like a face recognition thing where it'll follow your face and stay at a certain distance that you could all change on the app.
Yeah,
But then on the go, you could talk to it and ask it questions that you would ask your Amazon Alexa. It'd be like, what weather is like. You could have TV and news on and watch it as it follows you. And then, you know, like I think it just works really well as like a personal companion and also as a way of a form of entertainment for the masses wherever you want. Um, Obviously, it could be used for a lot of negative things as well. Like you could send messages in public in a way where like you don't have to be super close. I think you have to be kind of close, but you could just throw this thing up in the air and have a pre-recorded message on it, and just announce that
that's true.
anywhere you
Like your
are.
own billboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it, I'll- there, there's probably gonna have to be like some kind of height limit. Obviously, you're not gonna get high enough where it's gonna impede airplanes or anything, but it could if you get high enough. It probably won't
Yeah,
be
I
able to
think
fly that high.
it would lose signal at that height.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you wouldn't be able to take it like in an airport unless it was like put away in its box in your luggage. So if you have it out, that's not going to fly. You would have to actually literally put it away until you get there, because then you wouldn't want obnoxiously in your plane to have fucking 30 of these hovering around and all you hear is
Right.
rotor blades like
Yeah,
whirling. Yeah, we want it to be
Okay.
quiet, but it won't be that quiet.
Yeah.
I think this would also be great if you wanted to train and have something active moving, like let's say for some reason due to circumstances, maybe your eyes, maybe bad eyesight, you can't do VR. But this is the next best thing where it's immersive without being truly immersive. Like it moves around you and you can play a game while not being completely and totally absorbed.
What if
And
that just gave me an idea? Like maybe there's a version of this. Maybe projectors was a bad way to phrase this. Maybe I'm thinking of just a brand new version of drones. But there could be, I know this is an offshoot, and I do want the screen to be the main thing. But what if there's a screenless version that's literally just a following personal assistant with cameras all over it, like a fucking Star Wars probe drone, right? And you just wear your headphones and listen to it. But it's also great for like people who are like blind or whatever, and it could be like their second set of eyes and actually talk to you. Be like, there is a crosswalk coming up. There is, it's essentially your guide dog, but now it's a guide drone, and it just floats next to you, flies around, and just tells you all the information that you need. And it would work like a Tesla camera would, where it tells you, or will let you know about your entire surroundings. It'll let you know when it's safe to go and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I like it. And I think these also have good applications for use in races. For instance, with bad weather or certain races where you would try to put a stake up or try to put in things that rely on the floor to guide participants, it would be easier to set these up where they float, don't interact with the environment, and could stay there for quite a bit, letting people know this isn't the way you're supposed to go.
I could also see like even like campus.
I'm thinking,
sorry, what's up?
yeah, like food trucks, pop-up shops too, where you can have a menu or prices. You can have those just pop up right there.
Yeah, I think you're going the same direction as me, where it also could be used for like tours, where like a campus tour, for example, instead of having actual students walk around and show people around, just have one pre-recorded thing on these drones and just have it follow a set route and take tours of people around a campus or a structure or a historical place, museums. It would be great in museums, I think. And you could have interactive like stuff on the screen and a voice that talks to you through your headphones and all that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, I mean, we could go on, but I feel like the uses are limitless. And if this thing could be made, I think it could change the world. So, Amazon, make this happen. Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or products you'd like to see talked about, feel free to write in at adpoundgames@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to join the AdPound family, come find us at patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning make this happen. Gets to your ears that much sooner. If you enjoyed our show, take a second to give us a review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and more. Catch you guys next Sunday with Alex's idea.
Plants.
Plants. Are we talking photosynthesis plants or like factory plants?
No, photosynthesis plants.
Got it. Photosynthesis. If you guys want to know more about photosynthesis, check out We Are Not Game Devs episode like 3 or something, where Alex makes a photosynthesis game that I still talk to or barrage him about till this day, 160 episodes later.
It was about the water cycle too. If you have kids, tune in.
I don't think that's a good idea, but go for it.
Kids around 13 to 14 to 15, tune in.